Africa is not just a continent, it's a tapestry of rich cultures, traditions, and a cradle of humanity. From the towering pyramids of Egypt to the vibrant markets of Morocco, Africa's beauty is unmatched. But beyond its breathtaking landscapes lies a history that many have forgotten, or perhaps never learned. Join us as we take you on a whirlwind tour through 5,000 years of African history in just 10 minutes. Our journey begins with an empire that echoes through the ages, Mali, whose wealth and influence once rivaled that of Rome. Imagine a land where gold flowed like water, and where kings like Musa expanded their dominion across vast stretches of the Sahara. At its peak, Mali was a beacon of learning, housing the famed University of Timbuktu, a center of Islamic scholarship that drew students from across the world. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca was a testament to Mali's power, a display of such wealth that it practically redefined opulence. Gold, ivory, and salt were just some of the treasures that adorned the markets of Timbuktu, making it a shopper's paradise of the 14th century. Yet Mali was not an isolated jewel. Further south, nestled along the banks of the Nile, lay Egypt, where pharaohs ruled like gods over a kingdom that stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to the heart of Africa. The pyramids, those eternal sentinels of stone, stand as a silent testament to their grandeur. But what if I told you there's more to these colossal structures than meets the eye? They weren't just tombs, but symbols of immense wealth and a society that revered its rulers almost as deities. Life in ancient Egypt revolved around the Nile, a rhythm dictated by the annual floods that brought life-giving water to the parched lands. This cycle shaped not just their agriculture, but also their religion, art, and daily life. The pharaohs were not merely kings. They were considered divine intermediaries between the people and the gods, ensuring the Nile's bounty and maintaining Mat, a concept that encompassed truth, justice, and cosmic order. Ancient Egyptian women enjoyed rights unheard of in many other societies at the time. They could own property, engage in business, and even initiate divorce. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of ancient Egypt lies in its eventual decline. A tale often overshadowed by the glory of Rome. But Egypt's story is one of resilience, a cycle of rise and fall that mirrored the very tides of the Nile itself. Venturing further south, we encountered the kingdom of Kush, a Nubian empire that carved its legacy into the deserts of Sudan. The Kush Empire was a melting pot of African and Middle Eastern influences, a blend that gave birth to a unique culture and a powerful state. Imagine a society where black African pharaohs ruled, where pyramids stood tall, and where trade routes hummed with activity. The capital city of Meroe was a hub of commerce, a gateway between Africa and the Mediterranean world. The Kushites were masters of ironworking, producing not just tools, but exquisite works of art that spoke of a sophisticated culture. Their mastery extended to architecture, evident in the magnificent pyramids of Meroe, which showcased their advanced knowledge of mathematics and engineering. Unlike the pharaohs of Egypt, the Kushite rulers were not considered divine. They were mortal, yet their lineage held immense importance. The royal pyramids served as silent guardians of their legacy, each stone whispering tales of a glorious past. Yet the Kushite kingship was more than just a lineage. It was a symbol of continuity, a thread that wove together the ancient Egyptian past with the modern African present. As our journey through ancient Africa continues, we arrive at the Great Zimbabwe, a name that echoes with the grandeur of a bygone era. This sprawling city was once the capital of the Kingdom of Zimbabwe, a Shona people empire that flourished in the late medieval period. Picture a bustling metropolis with soaring stone walls that rose 36 meters high and 40 meters wide, circling a plateau covering nearly 259 hectares. Great Zimbabwe wasn't just a defensive structure, it was a statement, a testament to the architectural prowess of a civilization that thrived without mortar or metal tools. These magnificent walls, a UNESCO World Heritage Site today, are all that remain of a kingdom that left an indelible mark on southern Africa. The ruins whispered tales of a society deeply connected to its environment, where the circular huts of the early Shona people evolved into the grand structures of the kingdom's zenith. But the story of Great Zimbabwe is not just about its architectural marvels. It's about the people who lived, worked, and traded within its bustling confines. It was a hub of activity, a melting pot of cultures, and a center of power. The Shona people's ingenuity knew no bounds. They developed sophisticated irrigation systems, crafted intricate gold ornaments, and established trade networks that extended far beyond the horizon of their kingdom. Our exploration of pre-colonial Africa leads us to the mighty empires of Songhai and Kanem, two names that resonate with power and cultural richness. First, we turn our gaze to the Songhai Empire, which emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the 15th century. At its core, the Songhai Empire was a product of the trans-Saharan trade, a network that connected North Africa with the riches of the South. Gold, ivory, and slaves were the commodities that fueled this trade, and it was the Songhai kings who reaped the rewards. The empire's wealth and power were legendary. Askia Mohammadi, one of the most celebrated rulers, expanded the empire's borders and ushered in a golden age. Timbuktu and Gao became centers of Islamic scholarship and trade under his reign, attracting merchants and scholars from distant lands. The Songhai Empire wasn't just about wealth and trade. It was a crucible of cultural exchange, where Islam intertwined with local traditions, giving rise to a unique blend of faith and custom. However, the empire's grandeur was not destined to last. Internal strife and external pressures eventually led to its decline, leaving behind a legacy that continued to influence West Africa for centuries. Our journey then shifts to the north to the mighty Kanem Empire, a realm that flourished in the heart of the Sahara Desert. Unlike the empires we've encountered, Kanem's origins are shrouded in a bit of mystery. The legend traces back to a warrior king named Idris Aloma, said to have descended from the Kanuri tribe. His victories against neighboring tribes laid the foundation for the empire. The Kanuri people, with their deep connection to the land and expertise in irrigation, ensured the empire's prosperity despite the harsh desert environment. They harnessed the power of the Sahara, producing crops like millet and sorghum and raising livestock, which played a vital role in long-distance trade. The empire's wealth was not just measured in gold and spices, but in the spread of its culture. Kanem's rulers, known as the Sai, embraced Islam, but they did so without forsaking their cultural identity. They built mosques and madrasas that blended Islamic architecture with local motifs, creating a unique visual tapestry. Despite its rich legacy, the Kanem Empire faced its share of challenges, including raids from neighboring states and internal power struggles. Yet it endured, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire awe in the face of the unforgiving Sahara. Our whirlwind tour of ancient Africa concludes with a sobering reminder of a continent forever altered by colonization. The Berlin Conference of 1884, a pivotal moment in world history, essentially carved up Africa among European powers. This artificial division not only ignored existing borders, but also disregarded the ethnic and cultural diversity of the African population. The scramble for Africa, as it's now known, led to a tragic exploitation of resources and people, leaving scars that still resonate today. As we reflect on 5,000 years of African history in just 10 minutes, let us remember that this is just a glimpse into a continent that's as diverse as it is historic. From the ancient kingdoms to the impacts of colonization, Africa's story is one of resilience, innovation, and cultural richness. Now it's your turn to add to the conversation. What surprised you the most about Africa's history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more captivating historical journeys. Thank you for watching. HistoroMystic.